Alrighty, moving on to Guilty Gear X2. I tabbed out if the music cut out abruptly there. Very fancy opening, but it also looks kind of squashed for some reason. Like it's a widescreen cutscene that definitely should be 4x3. I don't know why it's doing that. I thought it was supposed to be 4x3. Hi, Eno. Also, Zappa's here now. Also Brisket's here now. And Slayer. Damn, a lot of like really like classic characters are here now. It's gonna be weird going forward because like Eno's gone in the story, so I don't know how that's gonna work out in the future. Like genuinely, I have no clue how they're gonna go forward without like Eno, because she's such a stable character. Unless like probably a function, not to use a term that's very hated in fighting game communities. Wow, this game feels quiet, but when I was in testing it felt really loud, so... also for legal purposes, not legal purposes, but full disclosure, I didn't do all this myself, I downloaded a save. At some point I actually do want to genuinely go through and unlock everything manually, but it's just a pain in the ass to do so. I'll probably talk about it in a moment. Post-war, Min Bureau Report 7403, Cham Cloudberry, height 5'4", weight unknown, birthday February 8, blood type B, race human Chinese. Though she is a chef, subject is one of the world's most proficient wielders of Ki Force. Of the 5 occult arts, the field of Ki energy is the least explored and understood. Most of its users are of Eastern descent, aiding the theory that heredity plays a role. Subject's life goal is to discover new and useful cuisines. Control will not be an issue. Although she poses little threat in and of herself, her capture is still desirable. Therefore, she should not be taken lightly. Risk rating C. Damn. So I guess while trying to capture Jam, Robo-Ky torched the restaurant. Again, this is just a thing that happens. It's just her restaurant gets blown up a lot. Though I don't even think this is supposed to be like our Robo-Ky, quote unquote. This is just a generic Robo-Ky trying to like capture it, because in one of the endings you have to fight like 3 of them. I like how the restaurant is like visibly like damaged back there. Jam does have a few new moves, by the way. So this is like a down, like a 3H, essentially, if I'm reading this right. Or is that Accent Core, actually? No, that's Accent Core, my bad. She has a new, like, 6H, but that won't be an issue. Okay. So, her endings are weird. If you want to get the ending 3, you have to IK Robo-Ky. And we're getting ending 1. Okay, moving on. Ending 2 depends on if you lose to Robo-Ky here. Which we almost dangerously got close to. Again, I do want to do all 3 endings, it's just gonna take a bit. I do not know why she's confusing Robo-Ky with Soul of all characters. I was expecting regular Kai if this were to happen. Like, this is worse than like an Amy Rose. One thing I always liked about X2 is you have the little like things in the corner. Instead of portraits, they have the little sprites animating. It probably is like harder for it to run, which is unfortunate. But because like, for some reason there's a lot of lag in this version. Like sometimes I'll just drop frames. And it's like a PC game from like 2005. It should be running better, you'd think. But sometimes it actually will run worse because of that. I think Champ has a new super too. Is it back? I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. Yeah. Again, this shouldn't take too long. Again, I just don't know if we'll have time for accent core on top of this. Also, her story mode. Oh. Again, it's so nice having an English story. But yeah, her arcade mode in Strive is actually really long. I think it's divided into 3 chapters of like 8 full stages each, and you can like choose which chapter you want to do. So yeah, that's basically why scheduling this like little playthrough is so hard, because of because of trying to work around Strive, like her story mode in Strive being abnormally long. Otherwise I would just like lump. Actually, you know, to be fair, this is a retrospective going into Strive. I guess it actually makes sense to do Strive as its own stream, potentially. Why am I having such a hard time with that input? I was having a really hard time getting 623 to work. Okay, why the hell are my inputs dropping so bad? Like, why was the PS1 game more responsive than this? I think it's missing diagonals. I think that's my issue. Is for some reason this controller in this game is having a harder time with diagonals. It's probably skipping. If this game was more popular, I wish that would be a meme. I don't know, that's just a very good line, and I genuinely wish that I saw that more as a like reaction image. Oh shoot, I'm on the right this time. Oh, she mad. Okay. So, yeah, at least this makes sense that she would confuse Kai for Robo-Ky. Also, I wonder what that means, if they'll acknowledge this at all in Strive. Because again, like, canon and Guilty Gear are so loose at this point that like what is so canon, I have no clue. Because they've kept some things, like the loose framework is still there, but a lot of specifics are not applicable anymore. It's very interesting how loose the storytelling is in some ways, but it's a fighting game. It is interesting in that way.
正直に言えばその技に興味もある。
なら中華4000年の技をくらえあるよ。
And we get to fight Slayer now, so that'll be fun. Hi Sharon. Bye Sharon. She's fine, she'll be okay. It's like weirdly romantic in a bizarre way. It's like both are immortal, and since he has to drink blood, it's like she can't die. Yeah, I know it looked like she just shriveled up there, but she's fine. Like, genuinely. Like, Guilty Gear lore is so weird. Slayer was always a character that stood out to me when I first played the game just because of how unique he is. But also, I don't feel like I got particularly invested in the lore at the time. Didn't really do a lot of the story modes from what I recall. Yeah, mostly got into the lore more recently. Why is it not taking my quarter circle? Or like half circle? There we go. By whiff, because I was... Yeah, I'm actually having an easier time with the analog than D-pad in this one. I'm struggling a lot with supers on this D-pad. Which sucks. I should probably switch controllers, but trying to reset a controller on a 2004 PC game is not the easiest thing in the world, so I'll let it ride.
堪能させてもらった。大陸の技は一味違う。
お前が他もあるか？
どう見えるね。
あの時は火と煙でよく見えなかったけど。違う。あなた、他もじゃないあるね。
忠告しておくが、君の持つ木の技を狙う輩がいるらしい。店を焼いたのもそいつらだな。
そうだったのあるか。
では、さらばだ。気をつけてな。
ジャムクラドベリーさんですね。
誰あるか？
お命ちょうだい。
こいつ、気を使うあるか
？Okay, not to feel like a fake fan, I actually didn't remember that Chip also used Key. I don't know if that's a thing that just is established and comes up a lot, but I do not remember that. Which is very funny to be like, yeah, no, that caught me off guard. Can't put some pants on. Yeah, that's just how she rolls in this game. How? Okay. How? Like, yeah, I'd have to actually double check if that's an established piece of lore or not, or just something specifically in this game that comes up. Because again, it feels like there's a lot of things that just kind of come up in this game and nowhere else. Oh shoot. Okay, you only have to hold one direction to block that. That's actually not that bad. There we go, finally got that to land. Anyway, second to last opponent, from what I'm seeing at least. Piece of cake.
そこに隠れてるのはお見通しある。
ギッギッギッ。よくぞ見破った。抵抗は無意味。直ちに降伏せよ。
焼けた店、弁償するやろし。
バカめ。貴様の技はすべて学習済みだ。
So yeah, this fight will be different if he did land the IK on Robo-Ky in the first fight. Apparently, that leads to the other ending, which is a whole thing, but we'll do that after. Damn, you're already at like 80% from just the intro. I feel like ending 1s tend to be a little bit easier. Ending like 2 and 3, despite being the less canon ones, ends up being a little bit more like specific in how to unlock them. Which feels slightly backwards in some ways, but oh well. Alrighty, wait, actually, can you combo that? Okay, so they do limit you and how much you can chain. Hey, a clash. We haven't gotten one of those in a while. Now, before I actually move on, I just want to double check this real quick. Yeah, I was doing it right. There we go. Yeah, that's a new super. Voila. I missed it. Well, I hit the 1, so that's something. Ow. So yeah, 2 more endings after this. Every character... It's more standardized in this game. Every character has 3 endings versus like... the other game where... Oh, he's regenning. Oh. Yeah, I think he's regaining health. So I actually need to be a little bit more, on the ball. A lot of the boss characters do actually have slight, changes to them. So I actually wish I'd noticed that sooner, because I would have probably just done an IK or something. If I had one complaint, I wish I could skip this. It's cool the first time. Less cool the second, and now third time. Also, I don't even really hear any music, but it would probably be Holy Orders, question mark, and that is on purpose, the way I'm saying it. So that's not the worst thing in the world to not hear it. I wonder what the hell this theme is going to be in, Strive, or if it's even this, like, what Robo-Ky it is the $1 million question, because, like, at this point they're just mass-produced, probably. So, in this point in the story they're mass-produced, I actually don't know what the hell they're going to do in Strive, story-wise. No. Damn it, okay. So yeah, if you just whiff that, you're just kinda SOL, because you kinda need this super in this. So yeah, this is actually a hard fight. I like how I was, like, saying this wasn't that bad, and now I'm actually getting kinda bodied, so oopsie. He'll talk shit, get hit. At least you can unlimited retry this one. And not end up on a different route, because that was kind of the scary part about the previous one, like with Dizzy in the last one, is if we die, we have to do everything over again. I mean, we could just chip him out with moves like this, I guess. Like, worst case scenario, because like, trying to land an IK is not exactly proven to be that easy. Yeah, so normals don't work on him at all. We can chip him out with... Oh yeah, burst is a thing now, I kind of forgot, actually. I should be using burst. Just playing a game that didn't have it, I totally spaced it out. That's an option for us. Yeah, so... we can also just timer scam, worst case scenario. Wow, this D-pad is not my favorite, actually. This is like the most intense workout this controller's gotten, and like, it's not exactly passing the test here. I'm gonna be real. Like, it's not a bad controller inherently, it's just, you know, for this specific genre, I don't think it's good. It's like cut out for fighting games specifically. He just lets me do this, which I'm surprised he is. Actually, no, we're done. No, that's not gonna KO, is it? Barely, cool. That took way too many tries. Partly because I didn't realize he was 1 regenning and 2 immune to normals.
面白いサンプルだ。早速解析して開発部に回せ。次のシミュレーション体はこいつがいいかもしれんな。
So I assume this is like conclave stuff. Just as a guess. Would technically be the conclave at this point. It's post-war administration bureau for sure. I also don't remember if I let the credits play every time, or if I just skipped them. I probably would have skipped them, huh? Instead of watching them 3 times? Yeah, so we're gonna skip. Oh, let's just fast forward anyway. That's fine. I like how they have the Windows staff before the original staff. That's interesting. Yeah, this is basically just the original PC version of this game, so that's part of the reason why it's a little scuffed. Alrighty, moving on. So we gotta do that 2 more times. This is probably getting close to like attempt number 9 at this point. Which is like, yeah. The problem with an IK is you only have 1 chance to land it, so that's part of the reason this is so annoying. Meaning I have to just restart the entire fight every time I whiff it, basically. Because otherwise, yeah. It doesn't exactly give you a chance. There's only 1 round story mode fights. Now he's guarding so much, I'm probably not going to be able to get in enough to land it. There we go, finally. That took way too long. Voila. So that should send us on to the other route. I actually don't know if this cutscene is different now that I think about it.
これより現場を撤収する。
松あるよ放火魔
Okay, that's the same. But I think the rest of the story should play out exactly the same, so we're just gonna kind of speed through here until we get back to Robo-Ky. Alrighty, we are caught up.
そこに隠れてるのはお見通しある
ぎぎぎ。よくぞ見破った。
証拠りもなくまたやられに来たあるか
ターゲットの戦闘能力は計算済み。集団戦闘が適切と考えられる。
あいやなんたいるあるか片っ端からかかってくるあるよ
Okay, so instead of fighting 1 Robo-Ky, we have to fight a bunch of Robo-Kys. Oh no. I got worried when the cutscene was starting, because it's like, oh no, is this just the same cutscene? Because I thought it was supposed to be different. But yeah, we are on the different route. This is path 3 specifically. But again, path 2 requires losing the first round, so we're going to do that after this. And again, we should have an easier time with that route, if all goes well. I do have to fight Ino as a boss, so I don't know if that's gonna go great, because like Megalomania is still gonna be a problem, potentially. Again, if she has her boss moveset, I mean. Yeah, Gem is an interesting character. Again, I think most of my grievances with the character from XR because of the way she's written in that localization. And then like the way she talks to Bridget, which is just most characters, to be blunt. There's some level of like secondhand like with like most Bridget dialogue past or before a certain point.
生きてるあるか
It's kind of funny in hindsight, me not wanting to play Dizzy because her outfit's very revealing, and then seeing Jam's victory screen, and it's like, I don't know what I was on about as a kid. Or as a teen, I wasn't really a kid at that point. That reminds me, I actually considered doing a accent core for Fox Girls Favorites, but the reason I'm not is like, oh yeah, I'm doing so many playthroughs of these games. Just inherently. Because it's like doing like little quick looks of all the different story modes. It's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna get my fill. Wait a minute. Okay, this one's only weak to normals, I think. Like, this one's not weak to specials, it's only weak to normals. That's really weird. Because I'm someone who spams normals a lot. Her 6P actually hits twice, that's interesting. I assume that's, like, the little red bar is still the risk gauge, as usual. Again, forgetting I could actually be bursting this entire time. Because that was not in X. Actually, what are throws? Oh, throws count, okay. Throws are normals, got it. Right, because the throw wasn't doing anything against him the previous time. This is really weird, not actually using normals. They still knock him back, which is good. It's just they're not effective to actually deal damage. Alright, 2 down. I don't remember how many Robo-Kys you have to fight here. At least 3. Got it. Everyone's just kind of vibing. Again, these backgrounds are actually really nice. I do like, and I guess I can talk about more when we get to Accent Core again. Okay, what is your gimmick? I don't know what your gimmick is. Actually, do you have faster gauge charging? It almost feels like his gauge is charging up really quickly. Like, abnormally fast. Like, he's also, I think, moving faster, so this could be like gold. Like, because like there's different versions. There's like a shadow version and a gold version. This might be a gold version, just based on like his movement speed and everything. But that's just kind of me BSing, like throwing an idea at the wall. I don't actually know for sure if that's the case. That's stunned, okay. I mean, you can actually press that really late. Probably shouldn't be standing in the pink ominous circle. Wow, that actually has a lot of reach, damn. Neat, okay. The one walkthrough I found only lists Robo-Ky twice. I like how one walkthrough I found says you have to fight 2 Robo-Kys, another walkthrough I found says you have to fight 4. It was neither, it was 3. I'm pretty sure it was 3. Anyway, our final opponent in Path 3 is May of all characters, who is brainwashed. I don't know why Robo-Ky can brainwash people. I feel like I missed something. Ow. Interesting trade. I was watching a video actually on what's the difference between a trade and a clash, and I already forgot the definition they gave. I'm be real, I already zoned out that. I'm like someone who has trouble retaining information, so even if I learn something, I'll immediately forget it sometimes. There we go. Cool. There we go. Piece of cake. Why was the first Robo-Ky the hardest part of this?
食べに行かないあるか？
しかし仕事がありますので。
え
ご迷惑をかけたお詫びです。ご一緒しましょう。
そこなくちゃ。ささ、元気出すあるよ。
I was just about to say, this is like the most normal Jam has ever been around Kai, and then this image popped up. It's like, okay, I take that back. Just a bit. You know, Jam is a bit down bad. Anyway, once again, I'm gonna skim through this, I guess. And then this is actually one of the happier endings, now that I think about it. I actually don't know which of Jam's endings is considered the quote-unquote best one. Serena, why are you saying this is Yuri? This is heterosexual. Unless you're now on board Zon's position of forswimming Kaikisk. But anyway, one more for the road. Hopefully we don't have any major hurdles with this one. We shouldn't, actually. Because we actually have to lose, so we don't have to deal with all the BS in round 1. Skipping ahead for the sake of time, because this is already taking forever. So yeah, according to this, we have to deliberately lose this fight. So thank goodness we don't have to do any weird conditions until Accent Core. Which, Accent Core's whole thing is a weird looking flowchart. I don't know how I feel about that. Also with Dizzy's story, I don't know if I actually mentioned it, but there is a branch in Dizzy's story that doesn't really lead to a different ending, just a slight deviation. I don't think I showed it because I didn't really have a chance because both deviations are in ending 1's path. But in this case, the 2 deviations in Jam's story are actually, in the first half. So, before the ending deviation. Meaning, it should be possible to actually do both, across both runs. Again, the only problem is having to land another IK to try to actually get that to work.
Ah,
程よく焼けていい匂い。
誰あるか？
みすぼらしいお店がなくなって、この辺もすっきりしたわね。
何を言うあるか？ひょっとしてあなた、さっきのやつの仲間あるか？
だったら、どうする？
ちょっと警察まで来てもらうある。
Yes. She's just kind of here to cause problems on purpose, I'm pretty sure. It's like, I don't know why she's here. Again, the restaurant looks pretty good for just having burnt down. I think this drive does mention she's lost like 3 restaurants, which... I'm actually trying to do the math on that, unless Accent Core counts separately. Like, if there's another restaurant burning down in Accent Core that I don't remember. But again, that's what I mean by, like, the core outline is still intact, but, like, specific nuances of these stories don't feel like they're canon anymore. Yuna is a very fun character, though. Her guitar is actually based on a real guitar. I've actually seen which model it is. I cannot tell you off the top of my head, though. It's one of those things where as like a Guilty Gear fan, I think it would be fun to own that guitar model, but it's probably very expensive. Anyway, that was significantly easier than some of the stuff we've done today.
そんな顔しないで。ちょっとからかっただけだから。仲直りのお礼にこれあげる。
これは手配書？
お金がいるんでしょ。その腕なら立派な賞金稼ぎになれるわよ。
それはもう経験済みある。またあの生活に逆戻りあるか。そこの男、神妙にお縄につくあるね。賞金は私のものあるよ。
ほう、賞金稼ぎか。悪いが実験台になってもらおう。
Interesting. I'm actually looking at the list of opponents. I'm like kind of confused by one, but the other two almost make sense.
ただいま参上ある。
Alright, Venom, we'll see how this goes. That's an interesting stage. I don't think that was the same stage as that he had in X. So that's cool. Like, I think it was just Zato's stage, which I guess makes sense because Assassin's Guild and all that. Which again, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Venom, Milia, and Zato 1 are all part of... Actually, Zato's dead at this point, now that I think about it. So it actually does make sense why 2 out of the 3 seem to be in this route. Wow, perfect, okay.
まずは一人目。次の賞金首はこれ。金髪の目標にするあるね。男女構わず誘惑し、変幻自在の髪を用いて仕留める陰美な魔女。ひどいやつね。
誰？
見つけたあるよ。変幻自在で陰美の魔女。覚悟するよろしい。
痛感するわね。女性に必要なものは慎みだわ。
Dang, okay. But yeah, it's like 2 of the 3 Assassin's Guild members, which makes me wonder about the next opponent. Something really funny could happen. I hope it happens, because I actually don't remember ever doing the story mode. Well, actually, I never played Reload when I got into Guild Q in the first place, and I never really delved that deep in the story mode. So yeah, it actually probably is the case that... You know what, I've actually, on a technicality, I've never actually beaten this game, because I've never done arcade mode in X2, I'm pretty sure. I think I've only done Accent Core's arcade mode, because it's close enough that I just kind of rolled with it. But yeah, on a technicality, I've never actually done all the story modes, and I've never done arcade mode with, like, any character. So, like, in a way, I've actually never beaten this game now that I think about it. I should rectify that at some point.
こいつは何の騒ぎだ。
あ、お前も賞金首あるね。
嬉しいね。積極的なアプローチは嫌いじゃないぜ。
Again, it's like they had met in X Plus's story, but this doesn't really confirm anything. Also, my hope for this was that, like, because there's 2 Assassin's Guild members, that the twist would be like she thinks this is Zato. Like, that was what I was hoping would happen, but oh well. It would've been funny, IMO. Ow. Alright, piece of cake, I think. I feel like the main ship is like weirdly off color in this game compared to like most other appearances where it's more like an orangish ship. Maybe I'm used to like XR and Strive. But I want to say it's red in X as well. Maybe time of day. Yeah, I think it might be a time of day thing.
賞金首じゃないあるか。
ああ、あんたの手配書は間違いだらけだ。ミリアの賞金は東欧の昔に解除されてるぜ。もっとも俺の賞金は本当だけどな。
ショックある。
あんた誰かにはめられたんだな。心当たりは？
まあ、許さないあるよ。
どう？賞金稼ぎははかどってる？
よくも騙してくれたあるね。
やっと気づいたか、この料理バカが。あんたのおかげで虫けらどもがいい具合に潰し合ってくれたよ。さーて、あとはまとめて焼き捨てるだけだ。
そうはさせない
Alrighty, final boss of GM's second half. We got Eno. Apparently this is boss Eno. So, oh no. That's all I have to say is, oh no. Oh god, how is this gonna pan out? Given how much I've been struggling today at this game. Yeah, I'm worried for obvious reasons. I need to be using RC and Burst more. That's what I actually need to do, because, like, you know, there's no... Well, I guess now there's no Wild Assault, period. But, like, you know, in this game, there was no other real use of Burst other than, you know, as a Burst. Are you healing? Or did I just not do any damage that whole time? I can't tell, but it feels like she should have taken more damage by now. Yeah, no, it kind of looks like she's healing. Yeah, no, she's healing. Oh, that's bad. Again. So, yeah, the guy I have says that this is boss, you know, specifically, so that makes me wonder if like, she can use her, like, supers and everything. But also, even without that, we still lost. That's fine. Yeah, this doesn't bode well for arcade mode and accent core, cause she's worse than that. Also, with Dizzy's story, we didn't have this much trouble, but also makes sense, because if you lose, then you actually have to redo the entire story mode. It gives you an ending for losing to Eno. So it actually makes sense that Dizzy's version of Eno in story mode is actually easier than Jam's, where you can just retry as much as you want. At least that's kind of my feeling on it, at least. Just kind of my read on this. Oh no. Oh god. Okay. I actually don't think she can regen like this in arcade mode, at least that's something, but... Also she hits really hard, too. Yeah, I do not know why this won't go through on this on this controller. Like, it really does not want to take a half circle on this D-pad, so I'm probably just gonna have to use the stick for the rest of this. Actually, I could have done IK, but that's done, now that I think about it. Alright, yeah, I don't know why I keep going back to the D-pad. I've already established that's not a good idea. Actually, I'm having trouble with the control stick now. There we go, that's not gonna kill her because she regened enough. But she's still in danger zone. Just do it again, I guess, see if that works. At least we can easily get a time over. Oh, maybe not. I need to stop jinxing myself. Is that enough? That might be enough. Cool. That was rough. But we did it. It just took a lot of tries again.
"たおやかなレイディーたちとの食事は望むところさ。なあ、ミリア君。
汚い手で私に触れないでくださる？
失礼した。君の美貌に酔ったようだ。
美貌だと？この女の本性を知らないからそんなことが言えるのだ。
今、なんて言った？
二人ともお酒はそのぐらいにしたらどうあるか？
うるさい。お前のせいでザトウ様は。
私が生きるためよ。あんな男何度だって殺すわ。
貴様。
と、せっかくのディナーだ。無粋な真似はなしにしようぜ。
うるさいわね。そこをどきなさい。
まあまあ、そう言わずに。
くらえ、レイムボガー。
おお。
刻めアイアンメイデン。
屋台がもう台無しある。
So, this kind of gives a lot of context, you know, with the canonicity of this or not. Like, notwithstanding, this kind of explains why Jam's theme is the way it is, because God, your luck is bad with, like, her restaurant. It's constantly getting destroyed. It's constantly getting absolutely wrecked. To the point of like, yeah, no, everything makes a lot of sense. The whole, like, you know, pick yourself back up and keep trying mentality is there for a reason, because, chronically unlucky. Honestly, I actually like Jam a decent amount as a character. She just has a few moments that are like, God, what were they thinking? And again, most of those are in Accent Core, which is retroactive now that we have like the whole story of Bridget, so it's not entirely fair to be overly judgy about that. But the other bigger issue is just how she's localized in specifically XR Rev 2. On Revelator, she wasn't in Sign from what I understand, so yeah. 2000s localizations, XR was 2017, I wanna say. It kind of makes sense though, actually, if you think about it, because that was kind of that era where people were really pushing for literal translations. I think it was also a different publisher too. It was Axis, AKSYS. So yeah, it was a different publisher. Revelator doesn't even have a dub, unlike Sign, so only half of this game is even dubbed at all. Okay, I was wrong. 2014, which almost makes my argument stand even more, because that was definitely when people were heavily discussing localizations in games. That's definitely one of those things that's like, yeah, that might explain it. But, in general, I do like Jam a lot. Again, mostly just because she always picks herself back up and keeps fighting, even though, things chronically go wrong for her. So this is a very interesting camera angle. Like, Jam's just, like, sat on the floor while the other two are fighting, and Johnny's just there. But yeah, it's a very interesting art style compared to the later games. It's like X2, like all the games have a different art style to each other, which makes them all very unique. They kind of level out at Accent Core, but even then the gallery tends to be a little bit more anime styled. Well, this almost feels more stylized in, like, especially X and X2. I actually don't know who the artist is on X Plus's cutscenes. It almost feels more like, you know, Daisuke Shibutari's traditional art style. I don't know who the artist on these would be, but yeah. Poor Jam. It's just kind of the story of this series. She's always just getting kind of messed up by outside circumstances. It's usually not even stuff in her control. It's just, you know, fight just rolls through, basically. But yeah, that raises the question, what's the canon ending? And I have no idea what you would consider to be the canon ending. Because, like, all of her endings, none of her endings are, like, conclusively bad, like some of them in the other games. Like, obviously, Dizzy's second ending in Accent Core is like, this is clearly the bad ending. But with Jams, it's like, there's a bit of an ambiguity to which would actually be the good ending. Because the first one ends with her being like eyed by presumably the post-war administration bureau for her powers. The second involves her having her stand destroyed, and the third involves her like hitting on Kai. So ending 3 is arguably the happiest ending, weirdly enough, which I don't feel like that happens very often. But with that, we are decently far into my look at the various story modes for Jam Quadaberry, so next time we will pick this up again with Accent Core, doing a full story run, hopefully without as much difficulty as X2 Reload gave me, and then also, if we have time, doing an arcade run.